Yeah, dear. Let me know we're live. It's a little late for that now.
We're live, honey.
All right, she's talking about we need more light. It's too late. We're live. It's Matt with Olympus Reptiles, and we're here with another episode of Live Egg Cutting. This will be clutch number 14. Let me show you the mama, although you kind of already saw her. She's our thumbnail. And that is this girl right here. Really nice. Really cool Bumblebee. This is her first year having babies. She just shed, so she rubbed her head a little bit when she did, but she'll be all right. Put her back in there. Good job, mama. Let's see if Dad's in a mood. Dad's sometimes in a mood. Yeah, he's in. I'll bring him to you, dear. Maybe. There we go. Oh, yeah. This is Dad. Dad's a really nice calico. A lot of speckling, good expression. A lot of tail pattern arborizations. I like to look for in calicos. Really cool. So, a couple things to address. Some more water before we get started. One, we turned on a new feature, Super Chat feature. Now, I don't expect any of y'all to have to use that. What it is, it's some kind of YouTube setup, pay for message thing that makes your message, I don't know if it turns it bold, changes colors, stays longer. I don't know. But we get a lot of the messages in here, and some of them come so fast that we don't get a chance to read them all. And that is a way that if you have something that you want to stay a little longer to give Question Girl a better chance to see it and ask it, that's a way for you to do that. It's not required. You can still comment for absolutely free. It's just a way to make that comment stand out, to give her a better chance to pick that one out, as opposed to sometimes when there's a bunch coming in. So we did turn that on. Another thing when we get people in is, let me tell you, snakes are not always convenient, okay? We have had a weekend of helping my future in-laws move, which has been, well, it's like moving. It's a living nightmare. Anytime you move stuff, any house, anybody, it's a living nightmare. I hate moving, so I keep telling Question Girl I'm going to die in the house I'm in. So we did that. And then I come home and put on my Viking game that I taped to see our new running back go down. Hopefully it's minor, but I'm not holding my breath. And our offense to kind of just misfire and have 3 fumbles and, you know, in general lose a football game. So you're not having the best day, you're tired, you want to go to bed, you come down and check eggs, and what do you find? 1 out. And somehow he has gotten himself clean under there. I don't even know how he did that. That is a first. Another one's pipped. So, when I first peeked at that, he wasn't that way. So the first thing we're going to do is address that little guy. You're probably worried, is he okay? He's fine. See? He just crammed himself into a tight spot. That's what they tend to like to do.
I've never seen that in the last couple of years.
It's because I set this one up different. Come on, little buddy.
I'm trying to get what you're
doing?
Yeah.
Victory's mine. So let's see what we got here. This is baby number 1. And he has been all over in that stuff. So he'll calm down. Woo! I know, buddy. I think we probably have here... I'm not going to call it yet. I think we probably have a low or normal, but it could be a low expression calico. I'll have to wait till it really sheds. I'm not seeing a lot of the pink that I normally like to see in a really nice calico, but if you look, that side of the tail looks pretty normal, but this side does not. It's got some linked alien heads. That could just be a normal in the pattern. Sometimes they're kind of hard to tell. So it's not a definite one. I'm going to guess right now, you put a gun to my head and say decide, I would say it's a normal. I'm going to set you right there. Well, I am going to set you up because you've already shown that you can figure out how to make my life miserable. Get rid of all these old guys here. Those are just to keep the eggs steady. They do get kind of gross after a while. All right.
And a big shout out to everyone who's tuning in. I definitely saw that we have South Africa and Japan and Minnesota, and I think Minnesota. I saw Honduras and Dublin. I definitely saw Scotland on there, and then our good old Ohio and Maryland. I definitely saw that we had Arizona representing as well, Venezuela and New York. So we are so thrilled that you are coming in and watching with us as we're going live. Holy cow, Alabama, UK, and Pennsylvania. Big shout out to all of you who are tuning in. Holy cow, everybody's popping up. You guys are typing faster than I can read.
That happens sometimes.
Oh, and Corey, I'm not sure if I would say Texas for the win because I'm pretty sure that K-State beat Baylor yesterday.
Oh, we did. But there's a lot of teams in Texas. We don't give you too much of our time. Hopefully this guy will calm down a little. Okay, let's get to the rest of these. This one's already picked. The course we're looking for is a Calico. That would be the winner of this clutch. That's what I'm really hoping for.
Okay, now what was the pairing on this? You said this was a bee and a what?
Calico.
Bee and a calico. So what are the potential outcomes that you were looking for with this clutch, babe?
Well, I mean, of course you got normals, calicos, calidors, calibees, pastels, spiders, and bumblebees. Calico pastels.
Hold on. Houdini's going under again.
I see that. You are just going to be a problem child.
Here, you want me to hold him?
Yeah, do double duty. Just ball him up. He'll be fine.
Right, let me, like, do this and this.
Yeah.
I got this. I'm a question girl.
Now that, I am hoping, will end up being a calidor.
What's a calidor?
Calico spider. Again, we'll have to crawl out. It could just end up being a nice high white spider. I'll know more when it's out the egg. So, we shall see. That
will the Calico potentially be for sale?
It's possible. That if we have one. I mean, it's not looking so great right now. That looks like a pastel. Don't know if Calico's in that either right now. Calico kind of takes a while to color up sometimes. So
yeah. And LKB Pythons, we enjoy watching the Cowboys lose as well.
Yeah, most Viking fans aren't huge fans of Cowboys.
No, we are not going to be in Tinley. Matt takes me on a couples getaway every year on that first October weekend. And so, unfortunately, Tinley isn't going to happen this year. But is the shop going to be at Tinley, honey?
Yes.
Manhattan Reptile World will be representing at Tinley. And will Kurt be there?
Don't know. Probably.
Okay. Camera guy Kurt potentially might be at Tinley. So
that's also got pastel in it.
That has pastel. Mm-hmm. So be looking around for the purple Olympus Reptile shirts.
That's probably going to be a pastel calico, I think. But don't quote me again. It's so hard to tell a calico when they're young. Okay, last one. Got some goop on my fingers there. Okay, everybody, fingers crossed. Let's go out with a bang.
Sorry, Sean. Matt's pretty good about putting family before business.
Always.
And yes, Krista, he is the sweetest thing. Matt is a good guy.
Hey.
What's that?
Probably at least a calendar. That one. But I don't see Bumblebee. But that's going to end up definitely being... You can see that. On this one I'm pretty easy to call it. You can see how far up the white's traveling. Mm-hmm. And it's going to end up being even farther up.
Aaron, I never ask him to pick one or the other. That's Matt's choice to take me.
But that head pattern I would expect to be a little bit more blushed if it was a bee. Well, it's got a weird spot in it. Like, I don't know if you can see that or not. See that right there? Whoop. Still I've been doing well. That thing's kind of cool looking. That is not what most of my spiders end up looking like. It's just not. Let's see if I can find... You'll get a little bit of the spot, but not quite like that.
Yeah. Now, how's the Patreon going, honey?
How's the Patreon going? It's going good. I mean, we'd love to have a few more people on there, obviously. The more the merrier, and the more we have, the more and quicker we can get some things done we want to get done with it. But, yeah, it's going well. Like, I can't complain, really. I mean, it's...
And you're going to be capping the Patreon?
Yes. Is that a question they got asked, or are you just adding stuff in?
I'm just asking.
Oh, you're asking.
No, somebody asked how Patreon was going, and I'm asking, hey, are you going to cap it?
We are going to cap it. I haven't gone there set the cap yet because we're not close to it, but I believe we said the total cap was going to be 800 across the board. So it will be limited. And the reason for the cap is simply so if we ever get to that point, and it'll take us a while to get there, but I want to make sure that if we, as that grows, you know, the idea is to be able to offer really cool animals that, you know, kind of a really fun way of selling them, and a chance for people to kind of like, you know, almost have a little bit of a risk reward and get a great deal if they so choose. But with that, you know, the Patreon offsets that cost, so it allows us to do that. I don't want to open that up to thousands upon thousands of people or anything like that. It would be better for me to have as many people on there as humanly possible, obviously, but by capping it, we keep it more exclusive, and I think it'll give us a chance to provide what we really want to provide to people. So that's why there's going to be a cap. All right, guys, any questions?
Yeah, so what are the quart size that you use for adults?
I use the, it's basically like a 42 quart Sterilite tub or 41 quart, whatever size they are. And that's the CB70 tubs that look like, you know, this tub here.
Yeah.
You can see the size of it.
And yes, Aaron, we did reinforce the tall grass reptile racks.
Now, if you've recently purchased tall grass reptile racks, let me explain something really quick to you. This is their first design, very, very early design. And one thing we found with the early design, and tall grass also noticed it, you know, and they've changed how they do things, which is a good thing, is some of these ends with increased open and closing, which I do a lot of, and I like to take them on and open it, and I don't always hold it. I let the tub set while I go and do work, okay? And that extra pressure on these was starting to crack some of these. So before we had one break or cause a problem, we went through and we did some reinforcement. Now, that just keeps that from happening. I did talk to them about that and say, hey, this is something we noticed. Of course, this was a while back so it took us a while to get around to this. And they had already noticed it as well and redesigned. So what you're getting now is thicker parts here to prevent that from happening. They also, if you remember our first one of the things it says that if you only had like a 10 stack, they were a little wobbly, you know, was the only really complaint I had. And they've also fixed that. They've put a better foot system on it. So that's really cool. So they did change their design slightly to accommodate. So I don't want you thinking that you're going to have to do this if you bought a tall grass rack on our recommendation. We were pretty early adopters of that, and they actually listened to some of the early adopters and took care of things we noticed, so that's pretty cool.
Now, does your hat have the Olympus Reptiles logo on it?
It doesn't.
What's on it?
Just the Viking logo, I believe, on this one. There you go. But yeah, no Olympus hats yet. That's something that I may get one of these days. Who knows? I don't know if she'd walk around me if I had a hat that said "want to see my balls" on it, but maybe. Mm-hmm. Yeah, maybe. All right, guys, a few more questions left to get out of here. Anything else we got, dear?
How do they get heat on the inside of the racks?
On the inside, what do you mean?
Like
how
of
the racks
those racks, how do they heat?
If you can show that camera here in the very back, there's a floating heat pad on these. That's kind of what tall grass design that makes them different. And let me open this one up so you can kind of see where it sits.
Yeah.
And the really nice thing, I know you want to eat my face. You're always hungry. The really nice thing with that is this. They tested these racks where they just plugged it straight into the wall, no thermostat, just to see how hot it would get. And it got too hot. They all will, but it didn't melt the tub. So you didn't have quite the fire hazard you normally have. And actually it didn't get so hot that the snake couldn't escape the heat to the front of the tub and survive. Now you still need a thermostat. But because of that was a pretty good deal. One of the selling points to me for that, because obviously a fire risk or a bad thermostat or something would be a horrible, horrible thing. All right, any more questions? Your eyes kind of lit up for a second. What was that about, dear?
No, just some people getting a little sassy.
A little sassy? Were they getting a little sassy with me or each other?
With you.
Oh.
That you're wearing the hat backwards because you're ashamed how your boys did today.
Oh, that kind of sassy. No. No, I always wear it backwards. And, you know, I support my teams in wins and losses. I've been a Viking fan since I was a little kid, so I've been through the hell that was 98. You know, yeah. So, you know, you got to support them. Wins, losses, good years, bad years. That's kind of what being a fan is. So, it's always fun either way.
Now, when's the next clutch cutting happening?
Well, this actually is our last one we have scheduled. This is the last clutch in the incubator for us right now. I have one more female I'm pretty certain is going to lay this season. I have one more that might go, but I honestly don't think if she does go, it's going to be till like December or January. It's going to be really late. So, yeah, it's going to be a while. So this is pretty much it, man. This is kind of the last hurrah of the animals that we were going to get. And I don't know, we'll have to see if one of these sheds out, if there's any keepers in here. I mean, that's a possibility. If it's, this has got some cool markings. Depends which one's Calico turn up in. I always like Calico, so you can't have too much of that. But anyway, that's all I got. I guess that's not all I got.
No, it's not. A lot of questions kind of came in. So how do you know what's for sale? How do people find out?
How do people find out? Well, one, if you're a Patreon member, you just hit me up. That's the easiest way. And if it's not a holdback, it's for sale. And usually I'll say right away when I have something that's a holdback. You know, and now when we make, one thing we're doing, so the Patreon's open all the time, okay? Those things are for sale all the time. You know, we'll take pre-orders on the Patreon. The other thing we did is we put a list up on Facebook not too long ago, and I'll put a new list up here soon, but it's going to be a little while. Here's the reason why I'm not posting a new list. We have had a very, very good year. You guys have been very, very good to me, and I really appreciate it. But we have a show coming up in Denver. And if I push hard to sell what I got now, then I'm not going to be able to really have anything to take to the show. And I do want to go to that show and be able to present some animals and meet some people and do some of that. So I'm not going to release anything new from the last few clutches. Whoa, almost dropped the phone. It's a good thing it's in a case. I'm not going to send anything new from the last few clutches, this clutch, the banana clutch, you know, I think the one right before that, to the general public until after I get back from the Denver show. And then we'll put a new list online for everybody.
Any plans to go to Arizona?
Not this year. Not this year. This Denver will probably be our last show of the year, I hope. If we have some things left over, we might sneak one more in Kansas City. But we honestly, we haven't had to go to as many places as I thought we would. And that's a good thing. You know, I could probably get by just doing it online and not going to shows. But I enjoy going to shows. They're fun. I also get to look for reptiles when I go to shows. I get to meet other breeders. I get to meet people who watch us like you guys. And that's something I think that is important, especially as we grow, is not just to be a face on a screen, but to actually get out there and go to reptile shows and go to these other places where we get to meet people and kind of cut out a niche for us. I don't know how far that'll be. I mean, I know that I want to be in most of the shows in the Midwest for sure. I'd like to start doing a lot of the Oklahoma stuff, the Nebraska stuff, the Missouri stuff, of course the Kansas stuff, you know, the Colorado stuff, maybe up into Minnesota eventually, although I got accused of being a Minnesota reptile show. I've never been at one the other day. But I'd like to get to all of those things and kind of carve out that Midwest. And if it expands, you know, obviously going out further if we need to. But, and then of course Tinley Park in Chicago, I'd like to visit that. And probably maybe Daytona Beach, Florida, which is a heck of a haul, but my brother lives down there, so he gets special treatment.
Yep. Is Red still here?
Red's still here. Red just...
Might be a little hard to see her, but she is back there.
While I was gone, she made a big mess for me to deal with later. While we were doing the house cleaning.
But she is in there.
And she looks like crap right now. She actually is in shed. Her eyes were blue when I left. They're clear now, so I expect some new red skin anytime. So... Red's still here. The Red probably won't always stay here. Red will probably go to my shop eventually. I had her here because I thought she needed some special care, so she was a little on the smaller side, but she's not now. She's a beefy girl, so I fed her really well, and she eats like a boss, so I'm pretty excited about that. All right, guys. We're probably going to go ahead and head out of here tonight. Thanks for joining us this year for all these egg clutch cuttings. Let me know what you think of them. I hope you enjoyed these type videos. If you did, we'll continue to do them. If you didn't and you think they got redundant and stupid, maybe we'll stop. But let me know it's one of those things I wanted to do so you see it as I see it, and kind of be just open with you, which I think a lot of people are afraid to do on YouTube. And I wanted to be different. So let me know what y'all think, and we'll see y'all next week.